What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is the 13th of April, 2023. We are going to take a brief look at Bed Bath & Beyond, BBBY. So Bed Bath & Beyond was estimated to report earnings on 4/12/23, which was yesterday, and it appears, at least from my research, that did not happen. It was not announced just yet. So we'll see. This is on the NASDAQ. So it says here for BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond is estimated to report earnings on 4/12/23. The upcoming earnings date is derived from an algorithm based on the company's historical reporting dates. So let's jump into the charts. I believe BBBY is down pre-market. So a straight waterfall move for Bed Bath & Beyond after basically the last earnings report was a massive rally to the upside. If we look at that on a percentage basis, I mean, it basically got crushed right into earnings and then rallied. The rally took place at a 360 or so percent move. I mean, the stock actually fell 95% before rallying 360. Well, this time, from the last major high to where it's at, it has fallen another 96%. So Bed Bath & Beyond currently pre-market, guys, is at 29 cents, 0.2936. That actually is up pre-market. I think last night it was down, but currently anyways, it is up. So at some point here, I would think we should get the earnings announcement. Like I said, for my research, I don't believe it was reported yet, and we didn't see much stock movement, so that seems to make sense. What I want to talk about, and we've spoke about some of this in the past about this on the charts, is we've seen Bed Bath & Beyond a couple times, not every time, actually fall or decline in price right into basically their earnings announcement, and then the stock gets a move to the upside. The question is, are we seeing that take place right now? If so, it's probably the most extreme case here. I was personally long Bed Bath & Beyond, and I'm not anymore. I was long from $1.55, this green line up here, and I was long from slightly higher. I think it was $1.60, maybe $1.65. $1.65 position was stopped out for a small loss. $1.55 position was stopped out for a small loss. And I have not gotten back into the stock since. Basically, from those prices, the stock's down 82%. It wasn't a huge position. It also wasn't a small position. It was a $1,000 position at both of those levels. Both were stopped out for a very, very small loss. I have personally moved on. And if you go back in some of those videos, those BBBY videos, I said, look, I'll get back in Bed Bath & Beyond if it shows strength. And so far, it hasn't shown any strength. Really good short. Not a good long, but we'll see. Anyways, guys, will Bed Bath & Beyond rally out of here at some point once these earnings are announced? Well, let's take a look back on the chart and see what has happened previously. So if we take a sip of my coffee here, it's 4:51 in the morning, so coffee is essential. Anyways, good stuff. Take a look back at the earnings over here, which Let's see. The earnings were on the 10th of November. We had this massive decline, basically 1, 2, 3 gap down, essentially right into earnings. And then we rallied, like I said, that 300 or so, 360 or so percent to the upside. So that took place. Let's get a tool here and circle that. So we saw the bottom come in just about on earnings. Once there, this earnings came in at basically the center, close to the center of the big decline here. So that wasn't really much. Earnings came out, the stock continued to tumble. How about here? This is a little bit closer. So we actually had a decent decline here. So we'll go like this. Decent decline. The earnings were announced and the stock actually went sideways for a bit and then went on a massive rally right here. So basically went on a 500% rally probably a week or two after earnings were announced. So a little bit different scenario than what took place. But if we take a look here, it's that mid-cycle. Same thing here. We basically traded down into earnings, and then it actually went sideways, and then it got a little bit of a pop to the upside from basically the 13 up to the 30. So that was a very nice move as well. Didn't quite bottom on earnings, but it flatlined and then moved to the upside. Right here, we have basically a gap down into earnings, sideways, and then got a little bit of a rally. Take a look over in here back in 21. A top came in on earnings. Take a look over here. We have a gap down on earnings on April 21. Take a look over here. We have essentially a bottom on earnings right here. The stock was previously trading down to sideways. Earnings came out. The stock rallied essentially 200+%. So it's not the, best indicator, of course, to think that the stock will just turn on a dime on earnings. But we have seen, I think it's safe to say that it's close. It gets close to a bottom in and around earnings, and then we'll start to make a move in the opposite direction. Now, coming out and saying that the company wasn't in trouble back in these days, that I'm not sure of. I think insiders in the company know things that they don't always share with the public, or at least have a intuition of certain things. But the stock has really been on a tear to the downside. So we'll see when earnings are announced, whether it's today or tomorrow or something like that. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow would be Friday, last day of the week for trading. And we'll see if this thing gets any kind of either a vicious gap down once again, or does it get a big rally to the upside? We'll have to see, guys. Like I said, I am not in this thing. We do have an open gap up here for Bed Bath & Beyond, basically between the high of this move, which is looks like 55 cents, and then the low of this move, which would be, actually, I'm not even sure what that is. 50, I can't quite see it there. It's roughly like 58 and 55. So there's a small little price gap up there. We'll see if it ever gets closed. That's quite a bit higher. Then we have another gap up here as well in that dollar range. Will Bed Bath & Beyond find some kind of a bottom or footing when these earnings are announced? Let me know down in the comments. Anybody holding this thing from much higher prices? I've seen in the comments in previous videos, people are holding from much higher prices. It's unfortunate, because one, because you're losing money, of course. Two, because you're losing opportunity. All of that money, that position that you're holding, this is just my opinion, of course. It's not financial advice. If you have a couple $1,000 position, whatever the case may be, it's worth, basically fractions of what it was. And two, you could have just been stopped out and put that capital to work somewhere else. And then if Bed Bath & Beyond, triggers some kind of a long signal, if you're bullish on it, then you could just get back in. But to hold it to basically zero, that might not be the best case. But it's something to think about, maybe people can learn something from this. And, who knows, maybe we'll see this thing have a massive rally and some of you guys will, make money, if not get back to break even. But if you're looking at trading or investing from a business, that is not the greatest business move there, because you're essentially losing all of your capital here and got to get it all back somehow. So we'll see what happens here. Like I said, we've seen this thing rally in and around earnings. Will it happen again? Well, we'll have to wait and see when these things are announced. We're up a little bit pre-market, 29 cents. Looks like the close yesterday was at 28.01. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Links, as always, down in the video description. Don't forget to download your trade tracker. Link down in the description as well. It's free. Check it out. You guys have a great Thursday. Let's see when these things are announced. Take care.